Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm gonna stick with the whole mantra of not having an intro and just kind of roll with it. We're doing predictions. I've done these since I think it was the London Major in 2022. That was like the first Rocket League video I ever uploaded. Actually did some numbers and been doing that ever since. Obviously had a bunch of things added along the way, but predictions are always fun. I know a lot less about Europe, and so these ones are definitely more interesting than the ones for North America. I have a lot more insight into the NA region just because I watch it more. But we're still going to have some fun with Europe. Enough rambling from me. I ramble a lot. I apologize for that. But let's get into it. So first things first, Common Core in Selecao. I'm sorry, I don't know what this means. Again, American. I'm going to predict 3-0. I know that I have to make a copy of the page. All right, we're going to pretend like that didn't happen. Common Core Selecao. I can actually edit the sheet now. I'm going to predict Common Core to win, definitely. I'm going to predict a 3-0. A game differential matters a lot less nowadays, now that we don't have Swiss. And even when we do have Swiss, it's determined by buckholes, not game differential. But in the groups, game differential doesn't really matter at all. So really just whoever I pick to win moves on. And it's like, I don't need to get into the nitty gritty of like, oh, do they get one game here? Do they get 0 games here? It's really going to be all about who takes home the dub. I know these guys are hot right now because they beat Fast Forward to make the main event. This has 3 new French players that have spawned out of nowhere, which seems to be typical. We'll see how good they do, but this is their first event here. Not expecting too much, especially against the super team that is Common Core. Synergy 100%. I'm excited for this matchup, actually. I think so this one could be really good. Synergy is your squad with AJG, Dorito, and Tekos, and then 100% is Luis P, Acro, and Rezi, I believe. I'm doing a little bit off the top of my head, but I like the Synergy squad. I think this will be close, so I'll give it the game 5. But I want to see Synergy do well. I fully biased is the team I'm rooting for the most in Europe because I want to see AJG succeed. So, Gentleman's start point. I like the start point squad as well. This is a Chronic, Matean, and Eugen. Gentlemates is pretty well known at this point. I'm going to guess 3-1. I don't think it'll be that close. And Gentlemates is actually 9-0 in the Swiss. I don't know if they've dropped a single game in the RLCS yet. So I'll have them dropping their first here, but not much beyond that. And then Tanaka is the Geek Esports roster, Joyo, Archie, and Oli. And Save the Game is Extra, Astral, and Mutzer. I'll give it another 3-1. I like the Save the Game squad as well, but I think the favorites here are just favored. Bouncing back and forth, gonna go to Group B. Ninjas in Pajamas and Ascend. I'm gonna be real with you guys. I don't know who's on Ascend. This is sweep, but I'll look up who's on Ascend. Okay, so Ascend is... Why did it do that? Ascend is Gyuk, Matt, and Nico. I'm covering it with my screen right now. Professional YouTuber, I know. So that's not a bad squad, but it's not a squad that's gonna challenge this Ninjas team. Vitality Redemption. I like Redemption, but I don't like them enough to take down Vitality. I know Vitality stumbled in the Swiss stage. They ended up dropping their first series to Fast Forward. They went 3-0 after that, so definitely bounced back. I don't think it'll affect them against Redemption. And I've been seeing that Cash is like literally dying on Twitter. He's got some sort of sickness that's been taking him out. Didn't stop him from going 3-1 through the Swiss, but here they are. Not sure if he's going to be 100% healthy. I hope he is, because I want to see Redemption at full force. Stormtroopers versus Novo. I like the Novo squad to make main events, but I don't like them to do much else than that, to be honest. Stormtroopers is your expected Dignitas roster. I think that deal is still going to go through at this point. It was looking like it wasn't, and I know apparently Jack on Twitter was being like, no, this is not official yet. I know he also sometimes watches these, so I'm predicting you to win, but I won't predict the Dignitas signing until I see it. If you guys do go buy the Stormtroopers banner this event, we'll fix that. But Stormtroopers, Dignitas, apparently Jack Jory is Stizzy. That's the important part is the players. They're going 3-0 in this game. RRG and Caliente. RRG, I'm going to get a refresher on. It's Goffs, Rizex, and Risfox. That's actually not a bad squad. The name I know most on here is Rizex. But I know Risfox, however you say it. He's been solid around the scene for a while. I don't really know much about Goffs, I'm going to be honest. And then Caliente, that's K-Dop, Sizen, and Growly. So Growly from that Hogan mode squad, Sizen from the Vitality squad before Zen, and then K-Dop needs no introduction. I'm not going to be boring. I'm going to pull the upset. I know it's slightly chaos biased, if you will. I've always wanted to see Sizen succeed because I didn't think he was bad at the winter major that he qualified for, but there was just no stopping Zen from coming onto that team. So I'll pick the upset. Carmine Core Synergy. I like the Synergy squad, but I don't like him enough. This is a Carmine 3-1. Carmine is my favorite to win the event right now. Spoilers. We'll get to that later. And I also have some things that I'll break down if we get to that scenario. Gentlemate's I keep wanting to say Takanaka. It's not Takanaka. It's Tanaka. I think... No. Okay, so Gentlemates played Synergy in the Swiss. Smoked them. I don't believe they ran into Tanaka. Tanaka ran into Carmine Core, lost to them. I mean, that's not as bad of a loss. I'll give it a 3-2, make it interesting, but Gentlemates come out ahead, and this is an early indication of who we might see at Major. Everyone's going to overreact to that and then make their power rankings based on that, myself included. I'll jump over here. Ninjas in Pajamas Vitality. I want to predict Ninjas in Pajamas to beat Vitality once this event. And so I risk doing it here, or I risk doing it, like, waiting until later to see if they run into each other again. I'm going to do it here. I'm going to say they come out swinging. This could come back to bite me when it comes to predictions later, but we'll see. And you'll also see what I mean by that. Stormtroopers Caliente. Stormtroopers are going to continue to just sweep everyone. Jumping down to some lower bracket Seleção and 100%. I'll give these guys 3-2 because I like their story and they're pretty exciting, but I do think 100% would go through here. Story Point Save the Game. These are two squads I don't want to see lose and go out last. That kind of sucks that they match up against each other. But I gotta go Star Point. I think they are slightly better. I'll go 3-1. I don't think it'll be that close, to be honest. It's really biased keeping the Save the Game roster in there, but unless Mutzer really just turns into the next Zen, like, I don't see it happening. I like this Acronic squad. And they have Yujin. This is two prodigies against each other. Prodigies is being thrown around way too loosely by myself right there. But Ascend and Redemption, I don't think this one will be close. Cash could be on his deathbed, but he will still beat Ascend. Sorry, guys. RRG and Novo. I predicted RRG to get upset earlier. And so while I know the Novo brand, I don't really know who's on the team. Oh, it's all Italian squad. That's kind of nice. I will predict RRG to not get upset multiple times. And then, yeah, let's do lower semis. Let's go ahead and jump to that. We've got Tanaka and 100%. This will be a Tanaka victory without a doubt. I'll give him one game on 100%, but solid team. Synergy, Star Point. I feel like I set this bracket up for Synergy. I think they're going to do pretty well. Start Point went 3-2 through the Swiss. I forget who exactly they lost to off the top of my head, but I'll go Synergy 3-1 as well. I'm predicting a lot of 3-1s. I know, that's just what happens when I don't want to make it close, but I don't want to make it a sweep. Let's get to losers semifinals, Caliente and Redemption. Again, this is actually kind of a solid bracket for Redemption after drawing Vitality in round 1. I'm not sure they would mind that, but the RRG matchup should have been tougher. I'll give Caliente one game. Vitality will sweep RRG, and we're going to get a rematch of Redemption Vitality for that 3rd, 4th spot. One interesting thing that we're doing with these GSL groups is that I believe we are playing this upper bracket final matchup. And so this will determine who goes into the AFL format with the 1 seed, the 2 seed, and then the 3 seed, the 4 seed. So instead of just having it be a straight up double elimination until top 4, which is kind of what it would have been if we don't have these matchups, we have these seeding matchups. If you were to get into the nitty gritty for how this thing was seeded, it would give you a headache. I tried earlier today. Oh my gosh. I swear to you guys, this is the most complicated format that you could probably think of if you actually get into the nitty gritty of how it works. Like Swiss with buckholes, seeding into the groups, seeding into the AFL. It's a mess. So I'm not going to bore you to death with that conversation right now because you came here for predictions. I'll go 3-2. Exciting matchup. First look at two friend squads going against each other, but Carmine are my favorite for this event. It is still best of 5 here. That's good. Ninjas and Stormtroopers. This is an exciting one because neither of these are the French, top 2, but one of them has a good chance, at least the way I predicted it, has a good chance to get the 1 seed coming out of their group. I'll predict another upset. I don't think I would predict this upset if it was Vitality, but because it's Ninjas coming off of a big win, maybe they're tired. Stormtroopers have a lot of momentum from 3-0ing as well. They're less warmed up, but I could see them doing it. And I see Stormtroopers much more likely to upset Ninjas, despite the fact that I think Ninjas are the better team. That sets up for some chaos, doesn't it? I just realized. If we go into the lower bracket finals, Tanaka and Synergy. I want to predict Synergy here, but I just can't bring myself to do it. I'll do 3-1. And Redemption Vitality. I already had these guys face off earlier, and the rule that I normally stick with is that it's very hard to beat the same opponent twice in the same weekend. The real exception that I have to that is if one is head and shoulders above the other. And truthfully, Vitality is head and shoulders over Redemption. I'll give Redemption a closer series just to kind of like, notice that. They also won't have an entire day. I think since this happens in the same day, we're much more likely to see the same results. But if Redemption had more time to prepare, they definitely make it closer. But I think Vitality is just head and shoulders above that team. So, onto the AFL. These are the matches that we're going to see on Saturday. Anything that's highlighted right now, all these are on Sunday. Carmine and Ninjas, that's what I thought I had set this up for on accident, which is kind of hype. I'll give it 4-2, but Carmine are going to come out swinging. I'm very curious to see what the Pro Power rankings is on Saturday because this Ninja squad could be ranked. I think they'll be ranked by the pros top 3. I think there's a question for where they could be ranked in the top 3 depending on how bad people think Vitality actually is based on what happened. But Gentlemate Stormtroopers, this is where Stormtroopers Miracle Run comes to an end, but they'll put up a good fight. I'll give them a 4-3 loss to the Gentlemates, and we'll see how it goes from here. This sets up interesting. Tanaka versus Redemption. Redemption, I believe I have 7th in Europe, but Tanaka, I have 5th. In the rankings that I made, I believe I have Redemption at 19th and Geekay at 9th. I'm going to stick with that. These two have not faced off yet, so I'll give it a 4. I'll give it a 4-2. Redemption could put up a fight. Vitality would smoke Synergy. As much as I like Synergy, that is not happening. Ninjas and Tanaka, this is what I got, EU3 and EU5. I have these guys ranked 5th in the world, 9th in the world. I'm gonna stick to predictions just like that, 4-2. And then this sets up so beautifully. I like this. Vitality Stormtroopers. As much as I would love to see Stormtroopers take this, I cannot in my right mind put the team that I have ranked 2nd and the team that I have ranked 1st in Europe losing top 6. And so I'm going to be a little bit boring with that one. I'll make it go 7, but Stormtroopers will get knocked out there. Top 6 is about where they're expected to be. And I think this is the one. I mean, I know these will be on different days, but this is the one where they'll look back more and be like, yeah, we should have taken that rather than the Vitality series. Granted, if they take Vitality to 7, anyone's going to want to be taking that. 2 lime greens. We got Gentlemates and Ninjas. I'm excited for both these squads, and I think this is going to be the real test of did Seiko choose the right roster, because Seiko very publicly had the decision between Juicy Radosin and Itachi Oski. Itachi Oski are now teaming with Nas on Ninjas. I believe the first time this is not going to go the way of Seiko. I think it'll go Ninjas Pajamas. I am not trusting the French super team building, and it's come to bite many people before, including myself, when I predicted Gentlemates to not make it out of Swiss and Copenhagen. Moving on. Carmine Core Vitality. This is one where I have Vitality ranked number 1, right? Had them over Carmine. Based on paper, right? But flip and spin, Carmine won pretty handily. Since then, Vitality, they kind of dropped the ball against Fast Forward. And in the spirit of overreacting to that one loss, Carmine's going to win this. So, finals, Ninjas Carmine. I'm glad I set it up in a way where Vitality still goes out to the best. Spoilers. I'll also predict Carmine to win it. They always tend to start the season strong as well. So, 4-1, more boring finals. Sorry, guys. But that's what I got. I'll have Carmine winning the first event, followed up by Ninjas. Vitality and Gentlemates in 3rd, 4th, as you would expect. And then these guys chomping at the bit, trying to get some top 4 finishes. We're going to find out a lot of how this season is going to look this weekend. So excited for that. And those are the predictions. Points rankings afterwards is about what you would expect one way through the event, or one event through the season, and this is what we got. So hopefully you all enjoyed. I will catch you guys next time for North American predictions.